What's going on YouTube, and welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. And if you're watching this video, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me out a lot and I truly appreciate it. So I wanted to have another open discussion with you guys on a idea of Stu Macher returning to Scream. Now, I did another one of these videos that you guys really seemed to like. It was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. I got tons of comments from you guys, and it was really cool to kind of have a back and forth with you on specific topics. So I thought I would do more videos like that where it's just kind of free flowing. I give my opinion, you guys respond, and then we discuss in the comments. So now, a lot of people really want Stu Macher to return to Scream. I even did a video about him returning and sort of a theory that would be cool about him coming back in the beginning to basically be the opening scene, because there's a lot of talk that we are going to get a nostalgic, opening scene that are going to make, OG fans very happy. And I thought, well, what if Stu was that nostalgia? He came back to try to kill Sydney. Sydney kills him, and that kind of, sparks the film. And, because there's talks about his son or his brother being one of the killers, and that's why the footage of Stu Macher's house was was leaked, and, it makes a lot of sense. And I look at Stu as he either has to be in the beginning of the movie or the surprise at the end. I just think it would be silly if he was, just kind of sprinkled in throughout the film, because I think it just kind of takes away that shock and awe factor. It takes away that sort of nostalgia, like, okay, like, we get it, he's here type thing. Now, what I want to do, talk and get your opinion on, is having him in it at all. Because my thing is, if Stu is back, like, so what? Nobody knew? Like, what? He faked his death and went into the woods somewhere? Or is it something where everybody did know he was locked away and he was let out? But even then, Sid probably would know about that. Especially Dewey, being a sheriff, he'd probably know, oh, Stu Macher lived, and he's getting out tomorrow or whatever. And I think there would be, I just feel like it would be silly to kind of include him because of that. Like, there was no preparation, like, nobody thought anything of it, like, what, is he gonna come out and pretend to be reformed and, say my bad type thing? Like, what could it be? Because, you have to make the story make sense. You can't just throw Stu in there and expect everybody to be like, oh, that's awesome. Because, if it's just like, what, he's dead? But in that Stu video, one of the discussions that we had, which I actually thought was kind of cool, was like, what if they just made this sort of, like what they did with Halloween, where this is sort of a direct sequel to the first one, maybe even a direct sequel to the second one or something, rather than all the other ones, which, I guess could, but then what happens with, 2, 3, and 4? Do you just kind of like say, that was that? The other thing was what they wanted to do in Scream 3, which later became The Following, I believe. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me in the comments. But I believe the show is called The Following, and the creator of The Following, he was the one for Scream 3, and he wanted to have Stu have this like cult like following, and he was sort of like the ringleader type thing, and there was a cult of Ghostface killers, and it was like this big symbol type thing, and they went after Sid. I think something like that could be kind of cool, maybe kind of, have some of those aspects in this film. But again, you'd have to explain to us how, like, where Stu been, how Stu happened. Not saying that they can't do it. I just don't want some silly, explanation. Like, oh yeah, he faked his death, he escaped out of a body bag. Because Scream has always been, based on realism. And that's what I've loved about Scream. I love that Scream is realistic. Scream is my favorite horror movie, period, because it's so realistic. I mean, we see that kind of stuff on the news every day. It's not some, dream monster or some unkillable force. It's just a bunch of crazy people, killing their friends. Like that literally is a daily occurrence on the news, which is sad, but it is. And I think, the fact that, if they mentioned Stu here and there or gave us clues in the other films to where we could be like, oh, now it makes sense, that's why he's back type thing, then I think that would work. But there hasn't been. As far as I know, and I've watched every one of those movies 100 times. And so I just think it's unrealistic to have Stu in. Although, don't get me wrong, it would be cool. I would love it. I would love to see, like what I was saying in my previous video. I'll link the previous Stu video and our open discussion video on Sid and her death is what it was about. If she were to die, I'll link those down in the description below. But I like I said in the previous Stu video, was that we know his story. I think it makes sense what happened in his story, and I think that that's a way to end it. If you don't make him come back to try to kill Sid, then maybe you can have him as like the kind of ear to the voice at the end, which again I think kind of ties into the cult like following thing. Because I mean, he could even be in prison and just be have his like how the speculation with his brother being out and about. Maybe his brother is talking to Stu and he wants to follow in his brother's footsteps, and Stu is kind of leading this cult or influencing his brother or whatever to execute these killings. Then I guess that would make sense, and then Stu would be sort of the reveal at the end, the little mastermind or something. But I just think there's only two ways to spin it. He either has to be in the very beginning, as like the, oh my god, this is so cool, and then that starts the film, or he has to be at the very end as like the shock factor. I just think you can't really have him as a main character throughout the way. He's got to just kind of be a plug-in. But the whole point of this video is to have a discussion, so leave a comment, let me know what you think, give me your opinion, and let's debate and discuss down in the comments. Again, if you haven't yet, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. And if you're not, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video. Thank you.